Hi everyone, this is Yashika from BabyLedParenting, and today I'll be going live with Dr. Kaehalee Shinde. She's a psychotherapist and she'll introduce herself. I'm just waiting for her to join. By the time I see requests from Dr. Kaehalee, I'll just give you a short, introduction of today. What we are having, we are basically talking about toddler tantrums today, and why do they behave like that basically. Hi.
Hi.
Okay, so I already, kind of gave a little introduction about what we will be talking about today. So let's start because we have only, I guess, 55 minutes with us,
Yes,
kind
yes,
of.
yes.
So let's get started. First, introduce yourself and then we'll start with the topics.
Yes, definitely. So my name is Kaehalee Shinde. I'm a psychotherapist. I practice in Pune. I have got my own practice here, which is called Peace of Mind. And I'm also a new mother. So I have a baby. I think our babies are just 4 days apart. Yeah.
Yes,
So,
yes.
yeah. So COVID babies born at the height, right? At COVID. So I have a toddler too. Uh, yeah. So that's a little bit about me.
Okay, so let's get started then. First of all, the very basic. Let's start with the very basic emotions of toddlers. What you want to tell us about that? Like, why are they stubborn? Why are they angry? Why do they have meltdowns? Like for every little things.
Yes. So usually the toddler stage is called the hitting stage. Now, see, it's very important to understand. We put a lot of effort into understanding the first year of the baby because that's when the baby's body is growing, right? The
Yes.
mind is also growing, but primarily the focus is, whether the baby is holding their head up, whether rolling over, things like that. And we know it very well. It breastfeeding कब तक करना है, solid कब introduce करे, when do we think the baby needs to sit up, and we expect those milestones around a particular age. Unfortunately, with respect to the mental milestones, there is not much awareness, there's not much information, right? And 1 year onward, from 1 year onwards to the 5th year, where 90% of brain development is happening, this development is happening in terms of cognitive skills, which we understand. They're going to start talking, they're going to start communicating, they're going to learn new words, language development. Now, these are the focuses, right? The internal development of the child is happening now. Along with all this, emotions are a part which are, which the children are starting to discover that they have as well. Right? So they are understanding more things around them. They have more control over things around them. They can understand that I can ask, I can label things, right? And now that that control has come up, if they don't get what they want, they're going to get disappointed. Disappointment is a very healthy human emotion, right? And for toddlers, they don't have the skills to regulate their emotions. उन्होंने सीखा ही नहीं है. Right? Imagine if we would get frustrated if the child didn't speak to us immediately or just didn't start walking. We are like, ऐसे क्यों कर रहा है? We understand कि उसको सीखना है, right? It's the same way with children. They need to learn to regulate their emotions, and as parents, we need to know when to expect it. So self-regulation in children can be expected by the age of 3, not before that.
Okay.
So, which
But
is why
we usually expect our 1-year-old to, behave properly and, do whatever we say, understand what we are saying.
That's
Oh my
the most
God, 3
difficult
years.
thing, right? It will be like, imagine I started talking Chinese right now and I just expect you to understand it. Agar सीखा ही नहीं है, we have not yet taught the child that. The child doesn't have the brain development yet. Now, brain develop in terms of usko samajh raha hai, there is receptive communication.
Emotionally and,
Yes.
controlling their whatever
Yes.
feelings they have.
So they understand what we're telling them, they understand things, but they have not yet had the skill to learn how to express it correctly. So गुस्सा आया तो मैं क्या करूं, ये सिखाया ही नहीं गया है, which is why the child will go to whatever internally उनका जो undeveloped brain hai, whatever they understand. They are new to life. We need to understand that. We, after decades in this life, अभी भी गुस्सा होते हैं, we will do things our parents or somebody that you know around us we don't, उनको चाहिए वो हम हमेशा करते नहीं है, right? So we should understand our kids a little bit. They're not. So first is we need to expect big emotions from our little children, right? Because this is a part of their development. Frankly, tantrums, stubbornness, this is a part of their development, and it is good for them. It is healthy for them. It is a part of their development. They're learning to understand. They have a sense of autonomy. They have a sense of independence.
Okay.
Right?
So
and that is a part of.
Yeah. So when they are, having a tantrum, so what do we have to do as a parent? Like now we understand that, okay, it's a part of their development. They don't know how to control or, express their feelings. But as a parent, what should we do to help them?
So the first thing is, don't try to do anything right in the middle of development. Imagine ek din you're very, very angry or you're really anxious about something and somebody's telling you, calm down, calm down. That's not going to make you calm down. It's going to get you more angry. Right? So it's the same thing. Don't try to distract your child. Don't try to teach them anything while they are having a tantrum. Don't try to do anything. So when your children are having big emotions, we need to be able to first see them. When I say see them, I mean understand where they're coming from. So a simple thing, right? Very recently I had posted a picture. My toddler threw a tantrum because she wanted to eat a stone. And she just wanted it. She wanted to know what it was, right? And obviously I couldn't let her do that, right? So which is why when I put a boundary to her, it was obviously upsetting for her, right? She wanted to explore this new thing. She doesn't know whether it's edible or not. She's just trying to figure it out, right? And she's like, why is this woman not letting me do what I want, right? I want to do this right now. And she started crying, right? Now in that, me trying to teach her that this doesn't make sense, this is not okay, you don't eat stones, this is harmful for you, she's not going to understand that.
What basically every parent does.
Yes. So the first is understand. Yeah, we need to understand that what is logic for you cannot be compared to a 1-year-old, 2-year-old brain. They don't have that, right? So for them, this is something big. Right? They're not able to so this is big for them. So we want to be able to say, yes, it feels really frustrating when you want to do something and you can't do it, right? It is frustrating, right? It is frustrating when I don't want to wear my bib and you're forcing me to do it, right? It is, oh yeah, I know you wanted a little more of, screen time. And when screen time is over, I know it can feel really bad. That's true. When we don't get what we want, we are going to feel bad too. So it's okay to feel bad. So see them, validate what they're going through. That's how they're going to learn about their emotions. They're going to learn that, oh, this feeling is called sad. This feeling is called angry, right? So help them do that. The second would be okay the feeling, which is saying that, yeah, we all can feel like this when something like this happens. We want to remember that feelings are always valid. Behavior may or may not be. The way we express our emotions probably isn't valid. So we want to say that, yes, I know when this happens, I can understand.
Sorry, it got paused.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yes.
Are you able to hear me now? Is this better?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes. So we want to say that it's okay to feel a certain way, but the way we are expressing it may not be okay. But even this, we don't want to do it while the tantrum is happening. The teachable moments can wait. First, when your child is upset, you need to comfort your child. You need to hold the space for your child to feel those feelings, right? So they might cry. And it may be very uncomfortable for you, but we want to be able to sit there and say that I know that can feel really bad, right? And ask them, do you want to hug? Do you want to sit with mommy? Do you want to sit on her lap? Do you want me to comfort you? Right? And when they are done, when that emotion is past, is when we want to make it into a teachable moment. Not at that time. It's not going to work anyways.
Okay. So today, what happened with me, I just want to, ask you this because today I was brushing her teeth and she was not letting me do it. So we kind of
Yeah.
started with, I was brushing my teeth with my brush and gave her the one she has. So later, when I tried brushing her teeth, she had a meltdown, and we kind of like for 10 minutes she was crying continuously. I was just holding her, rocking her from one side to the other side. But I
Yeah.
was. Is this the correct way of handling? Because yesterday when we talked, so
Yeah.
kind of I applied it today.
Yes. So I completely understand what you're saying. This is exactly where my daughter is at the same, is at the same time. The first thing I used to use those finger brushes, right? And the
Yes.
first thing she started doing was holding a finger up, saying that, put it in my finger, I want to do it. And she was not really doing it that well. She's not brushing her teeth that well, right? Right now, it's okay if they don't brush their teeth regularly. They don't do it that well. So let me explain to you in terms of psychology how it works. The first year of a child's life there are psychosocial stages of development. There is a psychologist called Erik Erikson, and he came up with these stages, and he talked about how every stage a child has a need, and if that need is met, right, they develop a virtue, they develop a skill that is required for them to go ahead in life. All right. So the first stage is trust versus mistrust, where we talk about the child is completely dependent on y'all, right? And it is looking for you for comfort, right? So when I cry, does my mother come? When I'm hungry, do I get fed? When I'm not sleepy, do I get comforted? Do I get rocked? Do I get held? These are the needs. And if we provide them with these needs, we are not spoiling our children. We are actually developing the trust that they're going to have on the people and the worlds around them. This is something that builds a very strong attachment bond. And that's going to encourage your child to have more of confidence. They're going to explore a little bit more. Once they have a strong base is when they kind of start moving out. Now, once that is established and that is done, the second stage, the toddler stage that we are talking about, the brushing and everything that's going to go ahead, potty training, all of that. The stage is called autonomy, which means independence, right, to a certain extent. So autonomy versus shame and guilt. Here, the toddlers will want to. So we want to prioritize this. We want to prioritize giving the chance for our toddlers to do things on their own. Like you say, let them eat, let them make a mess. They're going to make a mess. They're not going to be perfect with doing it. So let them brush their teeth. They're not going to do it perfectly. Let them try and remove their clothes or put their hands through them, right? Let them try and, so when you're, sometimes removing the pants, at this age, children try and remove it themselves as well, right? So we want to allow them to do it without criticizing them too much. Because otherwise, they're not going
to know how to do it. Let mama do it. So this shouldn't be done. Let them actually whatever.
Yeah. So I think this can be just about experiences, about having those moments, in the mirror where your toddler is standing on the little stool with you in front of the mirror in the morning, and you all are sharing that, oh, you're brushing your teeth together. This is mama doing her thing. And, I really enjoy that. She's looking at me. She's looking how I'm brushing my teeth. Right now, we have this Peppa book where there is the sound, the brushing sound. So whenever I say brush, she does this. So she kind of understands that's what we do. And that's great. I think that's more than enough for them to grasp. And nowadays, they are so fast in their grasping. I'm sure they will be brushing it properly.
I can't, tell you how fast she learns whatever we are doing.
Yeah. So they are going to get there. Trust me, there is no no adult or no big child who doesn't know how to brush their teeth, right? Sometimes we get lazy about it, but we know how to brush our teeth. So see, this is the confidence we want to show in our kids, that they may not know exactly how to do it. And some days they might not even do it properly. But think about it. So many adults skip brushing their teeth just because they're lazy sometimes. Nobody does it twice a day. I mean, I know it's a little yucky. We should brush our teeth. It's good hygiene. We should do it. But that happens, So, and that's the attitude we want to kind of take. So I used to get really tense because when she went through a teething phase, she used to eat wonderfully and she just stopped. She didn't want anything other than milk, right? And I was good. I'm like, why isn't my child eating? Right? Like, and she's healthy, she's playing, and we know all of this, but inside as a mother, you're like, oh, mere bacha khana nahi kha raha hai. And I think we're going to do this till they're like 50 years old as well. But
Correct.
but this is,
Our
yeah,
parents still think that we should be, told whatever we are doing, we should be guided for whatever we things we are trying to
yeah.
do.
So I say this, the thing about raising good kids is about if you do it properly, they're not going to need you one day. It's not about them depending on you at all. So this stage, the main conflict that happens, the reason why children are getting stubborn or they are being adamant or stubborn, the way is what people express it as, is they're trying to communicate that, hey, I want to do this. I want to learn. This is something interesting for me. And we think, no, it shouldn't happen this way. It should happen this way. And that power control or that struggle, or that distribution, that creates conflict. And the way to deal with tantrums is to, one, accept tantrums. They're going to be normal. They're going to happen. We want to get okay with your child's big emotions because you are an adult. You are equipped to do that. The child is not. Right? And the way we handle it, it's completely normal to get frustrated. We're going to get angry. We're going to get frustrated. So accept your emotions as well. And the moment you realize that, no, I shouldn't be, right? Let's apologize. Let's model what we want your child to do. He's learning or she's learning watching you, right? So what we want to do is, Mama got really angry right now. There's a lot going on. And when she gets angry, it can feel really bad. Maybe that's why I was shouting. So I'm going to take a few breaths. I'm going to calm down and I'm going to make up my behavior. So I'm really sorry I shouted at you. Must have made you feel really bad. But I do love you. I will always love you. And that's something we definitely want to tell our children. That no matter how they behave, no matter whether they listen, no matter what they do, that we are there for them and that we love them.
Yes. Actually, that is what we also want somewhere, that whatever behavior we show, people should love us, accept us. The main thing is they should accept however we are. So I think we should also apply
and
this to our...
And that's exactly what kids want. They want to be accepted. They want to be loved. They want to be respected. Right? And they want to feel that even when they're small, they're important. They're individuals. They are these living beings, right? Who matter, who exist, and whose opinion matters, right? So if they're saying, hey, I want to do this, right? They want to feel heard as well.
Correct. But what about if they start hitting and biting other people or other kids in the house, then what should we tell them? Or how should we handle this?
Right. So it's the same way. So I'm just going to make it easy. So three symptoms. So see them, okay the feeling, and set a boundary, right? So this is how we want to. So seeing them saying that, oh, you want to play with the toy while your sister wants to play it with too. I can see that. Now what do we do about it? I know it can feel bad when you can't play with the toy that you want to play with whenever you want it, right? Okay, come here. Comfort your child, right? And if they are really over the moon, you want to say that, okay, I cannot let you hit. This is not safe. It's not safe for you. So you put the boundary. Don't tell them to stop. They're not going to stop, right? So we want to either remove the child, take them to a space where they can maybe cry it out. They can feel sad about it while you're still there with them, right? So you get in the middle. You say that, okay, I'm sorry, but I can't let you do because this is not safe, right? So maybe let's take this toy away. Right? Maybe let's go to another room. Let's calm down. Let's do something else and feel better. And then we try and come back and play with your sister. So set that boundary. We don't want to encourage bad behavior. It's not about what to do. It's about when to do it. Right? So to a certain extent, that's not. So while the child is having a tantrum, don't try to do it. Right? Look at their feeling, label the feeling, accept them, comfort them, right? Okay, what they're feeling. And then set a boundary saying that, hey, but we don't hit, hitting, it doesn't serve any purpose. It makes others feel bad. And that's not really, we don't do that. In our house, when we say stop, we put our hands up and we stop, right? And obviously, it's going to take some repetition, obviously, for your child to kind of realize it. but that's something that we can do. So hitting is one thing. Another thing is the child wants to put their fingers in the socket, they want to touch something that's hot, they want to do all of that, right? So what I did with my kid was, very early on, I taught her the concept of, so I said ha, right? Like it's ha, like it's hot, right? So we started with saying that, and I made her feel a hot cup, not a very hot cup, so just a cup,
We actually do that with Nitya also. When she, tries to hold the tea cup or something, so her dad actually, allows her to touch it a bit, and then he expresses that, oh, it's hot. So she kind of, she's learning about it.
And now, if it's something else, even if it's a socket, and I say, ha, so then she repeats that, and she's like, oh, that's something that's, I mean, for her concept is not safe, something we're not supposed to do, it's not good for us. So it needs to be a learning curve. We can start early, we can start in small concepts, in a little bit of that. And a lot of time, I mean, we want to let them experience. Now, in terms of, she wanted to eat a really spicy food from my plate, right? And I understood to what. So I did give a very tiny bite, like not even a bite, like just a little for her to, see. And she's like, because if you don't tell her what spicy is, she's not going to understand. Her brain has no concept. Yes, no concept of what spice is, what hot is, what bad is. They don't have any idea. They're still learning all of that, right? So in a safe way, in whatever way, if you can expose them to that and make it a teachable or a guidable moment rather than punishing, that's going to be much better.
Okay, now that is gonna help me at least a lot, and I guess so many people are online, so it will surely help them too. Okay, so what about stubbornness? We talked about hitting, and we talked about setting boundaries and not controlling them during the tantrum. So what about anger? Some babies, they get very angry with very little things throughout the day, not just like one or two things. Throughout the day they will show anger for every little thing. So how to handle that? Because babies, we can't actually understand it at that point what we are trying to convey.
So see, if it is happening consistently, then the child is consistently frustrated and their communication is not being understood on a repeated level, right? So if the child is constantly angry and it's angry all the time, then we want to pay a little more attention to what is happening. A lot of times it can be, that the child is fussy, right? And they are going to go through developmental phases. They're going to go through regressions. They're going to learn a skill and then they're going to go back. They're going to be good sleepers and they're going to have bad sleep. They're going to be good eaters and they're going to go through a phase where they're just not going to behave, not going to eat, right? So they're going to go through regressions. They're going to go through periods of extreme dependence, right, in terms of separation anxiety. And we want to be able to take it in our stride and say that this is the want for attention, and we want to take away that attention is a bad thing. Attention is the most rewarding thing for a child, and attention for babies is not positive or negative, right? So when we talk about attention in terms of psychology, we call it a stroke. Okay, a unit of attention is called a stroke, and stroke is not positive or negative, it just is, right? So the child is going to get your attention no matter what, right? So if it's bad or good, it doesn't matter. Even if you're yelling, oh, mommy's paying attention to me now, she's around me now, right? So maybe I'll do this a little bit more.
Yeah, so because usually with this BLW way, when they throw food, actually at a point they are seeking attention from us.
Yes. Exactly. So which is why we want to be able to understand that instead of saying that, oh no, you shouldn't feel this way, it is our responsibility to maybe understand this is what they want and take some time off, spend some exclusive time just doing things with your baby, do playtime, in water, do an activity with them, read books. It has to be exclusive time where you're trying to, spend time to things that they want. Maybe if you want to go for a walk or things like that with your child, give them that attention, feed them, feed that hunger as well, and see if anything is changing as well.
Okay, these are good points. Okay, now next we come to disciplining them. Or, some parents, they will say that if you will do this, I'll reward you with the chocolate, or we will, we'll have more screen time. Or if you don't do this, I'll punish you. So rewards and punishments, I want to,
Yes.
ask about those.
So, yes. So before I tell you that, I'd like to tell you about the concept of how our psyche develops, right? So think about your mind as being divided into three parts, right? One part is something that's called as the id. It is the pleasure principle. It understands, I want this, right? When we are born as children, that's all that exists. It's pure primal energy. It's, I want to be safe. I want milk. I want sleep. I'm wet, I want to be changed. These are those primal needs that have, right? And they run high. Now, there is another part which we call the morality principle, right? Right or wrong, societal rules, this is how we do it, this is our house rules, things like that, right? So think about it. A primal need is going to the loo, right? But the structure is, we go in the bathroom. We wait till it's right time to do it, and then we go and do it in the right place, right? That takes time to develop. In total, this moral development in totality can happen till the age of 8. That's when it kind of gets completed, right? And then is that middle part, that manager, the ego, the self, right? Which tries to balance between, ki haan, mujhe ye chahiye, but I need to do it in a structure, in a specific way. Okay, so when we were talking, when we are talking about this scenario, we need to understand that this moral principle takes time to develop, right? And children are going to a certain extent, want, and that's going to be their law. Reward and punishment is how we learn what is right and wrong, but rewards don't have to be material things, right? Rewards can be you appreciating your child for what you're doing, and that can be more important than you giving them more screen time, right? Because we start doing this, and then after they grow up, we start wondering, why does he care more about friends? Why does he care more about this thing? Usko ye dusre cheezon ki zyada padi hai. It's because we created more importance for them, when we kind of start doing this. So we want to reward them with our praise, right? And not praise as in you're a good girl, oh, you did that so well, but their effort, oh, you put in so much thought into this, you chose so many different colors while you tried to do this, right? So we want to kind of reward them in appreciation regarding the process of doing things, right? Punishment and rewards don't necessarily need to translate into the way our parents did it with us, right? But what I would suggest is children don't need punishment and rewards. They need teachable moments. They need to be taught. That's what this whole phase is about, right? Learning to be better human beings. So right now, toddlers are just learning to be human beings, right? And then learning to be good human beings, right? That's, I feel, a lifelong process. So instead of punishment and reward, I will feel it better if we think of it in terms of guiding or teaching them or having teachable moments.
Yes, that does make more sense. I guess most of the questions you have answered so well that I am now kind of whatever all the other questions I was going through, I was like, it's already answered. We know about it now. So thank you so much
great.
for it.
Thank you for having me, and I hope this helped.
It actually helped. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.